Today we are looking at how to complete the industry sector analysis form. So basically the industry sector analysis form is your, what they call in your strategic planning and all that, is your Potter's 5. So your industry analysis, it looks at the power of your customers. Do your customers have power or influence over your business? Sometimes as a small business or a SMME, you might be supplying a customer that is big. Let's say you are only servicing a mining giant. It's your only customer. So that customer will have power over your business because your business is dependent on the business that they give you. So they have power over you. They can influence the price that they pay you, and they can influence if they buy from you or not. So you are dependent on them. That's on the first one of the Potter's 5, which is power of customers. The second one is the power of competitors. So in terms of competitors, how competitive is your sector? So the Potter's 5 looks at, as the second component, the power of your competitors. How powerful are your competitors? Let's say you are in a retail space. So we know we have your big 5 retailers, which is your ShopRite, your Checkers, your Spar, your Woolworths, and your Macro. So those are big retailers. So if you are in that space, so those competitors will be very powerful. So they will generally influence the market or the prices that a person can charge. So that's now when you're looking at the power of your competitors. But if you are big and you are competing in a space where you are competing with the small players, then you are likely to influence the price. So that's what you have to look at when you are doing your business strategy, so that you understand your sector. Then the third one is the power of suppliers. With power of suppliers is where you're buying your product, do your customers, your suppliers have power over you in terms of you? Maybe let's say you are sourcing from one supplier. So that supplier will have power over you in terms of the pricing, the supply. You have to wait for them to supply you. If, let's say in your industry, you have few suppliers. Let's say you might have industries where you have few big suppliers. Like, let's say you are in electricity, you are dependent on electricity to generate or to produce your product. So if Eskom is the one that's supplying you the electricity, so they have power over you. They can charge you whatever they want to charge you in terms of the electricity that they're supplying you. They can switch off the electricity. Sometimes you might lack alternatives. I know there's green energy and all that, but when you are manufacturing, so in terms of that supplier who supplies you electricity, they have power over you because you don't have a choice. You can't run a mining operation from using solar systems. And the fourth one is substitute, the power of substitute. Can your product be substituted by other products? Is it easily substitutable? It's like maybe if you are selling water. It can be easily substituted by other products, either by other water products or by, let's say, your carbon drinks or your even alcohol. People replace water with alcohol. But just the example in terms of how, if you are thirsty, sometimes people drink cold drink, and then sometimes people drink water. If you are selling bottled water, people can drink from the tap. So your product will be easily substituted by other product. And the fifth one, which is the last one, is the threat from new entrants. So are you in the space where you can easily, other suppliers can easily enter the market? Let's say, for example, you open a spaza shop. So the threat is high in the spaza shop space because a person can open a spaza shop. I know you need a trading license, but South African doesn't implement the licenses strictly. So a person you can open here tomorrow, you can find that another spaza shop is opened next to you. So now in that case, the threat from substitutions is very, very high. So those are in summary, the industry analysis that we're gonna look at today. This form, it addresses that. So what you have to do, the system will automatically create the data for you based on the sector that you're operating from. When you're doing your operation form, then the system will auto-generate the data for you. What you need to do is to edit the data so that it is more relevant to your business, and you confirm the data so that our form is blue, so that our business plan completion is at the highest. So what you do is you click on edit, then you're gonna see the different tabs that shows you the risk that your business is facing. So the first one is you need to know your historical growth of the industry that you are in. This one is 5% or 4.45. This is the agricultural production crops, which it hasn't grown much. I mean, 5% is 4.45 is within the inflation. And then what you're projecting in terms of the growth going forward, do you think it will maintain the 4.45%? But in this case, we are saying it will grow by 10%, the industry. So you need to have the industry data so that you understand how is your industry growing. Then factors that contribute to your industry growth, you can mention them there. So you need to know which factors are influencing the growth in your industry. You can mention them, but you can just leave them blank if you don't have. Now, you just have to identify the systematic risks. In terms of this one, you have the unsystematic risk are the risks that are specific to your sector. So you need to identify those. So sometimes we have risk like we had COVID. It's a natural disaster. So it's unsystematic. It's systematic. It affects everyone. So unsystematic is the risks that are affecting your industry specific. So in agriculture, changes in regulation, maybe it might not be high, but let's say there's weather patterns. Weather patterns are changing. Then maybe another one is, let's say there's what can it be? Maybe other producers or other products comes to market, which causes a risk in terms of the substitution. Then you can say maybe, or in this case, they say labor unrest. You find that we're in the season of farm strikes and all that. So labor unrest will be one of the risks that will affect your business. And then you look at currently, is the risk high or is it low? You need to decide to say, these two risks that I've identified, are they high or are they low? Then you indicate that, and then you put on the strategies that you put in place to mitigate those two risks that you have identified above. So now in terms of the weather patterns, then maybe we put an irrigation system. We'll implement an irrigation system so that if irrigation system, so that if maybe our business is affected by the weather, then we can irrigate. For the risk that we have identified of weather patterns, we can put the irrigation system, or we can cover our crops depending on that specific risk, what risk it is, or we can look at building under the shades. So there are different things that you can look at in terms of how to mitigate that risk. In terms of the one that you have identified for labor unrest, then your mitigation for that one will be regular engagement with your employees. So if that is your top risk that you are facing as an organization, then those are the two risks that we have identified, which is weather patterns and labor unrest. We said the risk is low. It can be high, it could be medium. You need to decide in terms of the risk status at that moment. Then we're going to put in an irrigation system. So ours is maybe there might be what do you call it, a dry season, or we're going into winter when there's not enough water, then we'll use the irrigation system. Then if the threat from labor unrest, then we'll continuously engage our employees. Then, in terms of the competitiveness, you decide in terms of the sector. Is it highly competitive? Is it just competitive, or is fragmented? Fragmented meaning there's not a lot of competition. So you need to decide depending on your sector. Then, number of competitors, you need to decide. Are they many? Are they large? Are they few, small, many competitors? You need to decide on that. And then where are your competitors based? Are they locally within the municipality? Are they international? Mainly. So you decide on mainly. Where are they based mainly? Then in terms of the price, your competitors, can they influence the price? Are they price takers or are they price setters? In terms of you, are you setting the price? Are you a price taker, or are you influencing the price? You can just influence the price. So there are three options there. You choose the ones that your company is. Is it setting the price? Is it accepting the price? Then in terms of competition, can your competitors undercut you? What is the risk? Is it high or is it low? You decide. How the scale of influence? How much can your competitors influence the industry in terms of the pricing? If it's high, what you identify. Then the next one is the customers. You do the same thing. You determine how many customers. Are you servicing small, few, many, whichever ones? Are your customers national, provincial, local? You decide and you choose the relevant one. Are your customers influencing the price? Or is your company influencing the price? Or you are taking the price from your customers? So you decide on that. And then what are the likelihood of you charging the customers higher prices? Is it likely, highly likely, or unlikely? That's on the customers. Then you do the same thing for the suppliers. Are you competing with, do you have many suppliers in your space who can supply you? Are they national? Are they local? In terms of the price, is your company, can your company influence the price, or is it a price taker? Then you go to the scale of suppliers. Are they, in terms of the influence, is it high? Is it medium? And then you get to substitution. Same thing. Is the influence of substitution high or low? Is substitution influence high or low? You choose that. Whichever one is relevant. Switching cost. Is it easy for people to switch from your product to another? Then you choose whichever option is relevant. Then you also go to say the number of substitute product for your product that you're supplying, or product or service. It might be product, it might be service. So you can choose from there. If you have many, is it high number? Is it a medium? Is it a low number? Can you negotiate terms with your suppliers? If yes, then you choose that. And then finally, you choose if, in terms of the threat from new customers, is it high, is it low? Then you choose that. And lastly, you do potential of new entrants. Same story, you follow the same process. What's the likelihood of new entrants entering your market? Is it high, is it low, is it medium? You choose time to get to market from your new entrants. Is it long, which is extended, is it average, or is the minimum time they can set up within a day? Capital required for new entrants to enter the market. Do they need high capital? Do they need low capital? So you need to assess your industry and understand that, because you need to understand if you have high threats from the new competitors. Barrier to market. There might be regulations, certain things that can stop competitors from entering the market. Are they high, those things, or are they medium, or are they low? If they are low, that means you are running a risk that many competitors will enter the market. Then the impact of new entrants on your business. Is it highly likely? Is it unlikely? Is it likely? So you choose from there, you decide. But it must be based on your understanding of your industry. Once you made your selection, then you confirm that the data is accurate, then you confirm. So what will happen is the app will update your business plan accordingly, and your dashboard will be updated to indicate that your industry analysis has been completed and the data is confirmed. Both the tabs are blue. Thank you.